I didn't plan to follow her that night. At least, that's what I told myself when I saw her put on lipstick at 10:30 p.m., the same deep crimson she used to wear on our early dates. She said she was meeting a friend from work. One of those vague, disposable explanations that sound harmless until you start paying attention. But something about the way she avoided my eyes when she said it, the faint tremor in her voice, set something cold and primal stirring inside me. "Sure," I said quietly, pretending to scroll my phone. "Drive safe, okay?" She smiled, that soft, almost rehearsed smile, and kissed me on the cheek. I could smell her perfume, Dior Addict, the one she'd stopped wearing around me months ago. And as the front door closed behind her, the silence felt deliberate. I sat there for 10 minutes, fighting the war in my head. "You're paranoid, Daniel. She's your wife. You trust her. But trust doesn't erase patterns. Not when the late nights become more frequent. Not when her laughter on the phone stops including you. Not when she flinches when you reach for her hand in bed." So I got up, grabbed my keys, and followed the faint taillights of her silver Corolla through the empty streets of town. The motel. It didn't take long. She wasn't clever, just careless. The kind of careless that comes from assuming the person you're betraying would never suspect you. She turned into a place called Crescent Pines Motel, its flickering neon sign half dead, buzzing in the dark like a dying insect. I parked 2 blocks down, heart hammering so loud it felt like it might break through my ribs. I watched her pull into a parking spot, step out, check her reflection in the window, then knock on the door of room 103. And that's when he opened it. A man, tall, clean-cut, maybe mid-30s, wearing nothing but sweatpants and a grin that made my stomach twist. She slipped inside before the door even shut completely. For a long moment I couldn't breathe. Felt like the world just stilled. My ears rang, my hands shook, and I realized I was gripping the steering wheel so tightly that my knuckles had gone white. Part of me wanted to storm in there, to tear the door off its hinges and drag them both out into the night. But another part of me wanted proof. Not just anger but evidence. Something undeniable. So I waited. 2 hours later, around 1 a.m., the door opened again. She stepped out, her hair messy, blouse half-buttoned, her face glowing in a way I hadn't seen in years. She smiled at him before walking toward her car. He leaned in the doorway, shirtless, watching her leave like she belonged to him. And that's when I made my decision. Setup. While she was inside with him, I'd already acted on impulse. Moved her car. I'd parked it 3 blocks away, right beside the liquor store, in plain view of the security camera. Then I walked back to my own car and waited. So when she came out and didn't find it where she left it, the panic hit her instantly. She stood there under the yellow parking lot lights, spinning in circles, checking her bag, looking up and down the road. I watched from a distance as she called someone. Me probably. My phone buzzed in the cup holder. "Hey," I answered, keeping my voice calm. "Everything okay?" "Danny," she breathed, her voice trembling. "My car's gone. I think it was stolen." "Oh my God," I said softly. "Where are you?" At just a restaurant near the highway," she stammered. "Can you come get me?" "Restaurant?" I almost laughed. "I can't right now," I replied evenly. "But I'll have the police check for your car. Go home, I'll meet you there." Her silence stretched for a beat too long. "Okay," she whispered, voice quivering. I'll meet you there." The return home. Got home first. That's because I took the direct route. She had to walk half a mile to the bus stop and catch the late-night route back. When she finally came through the front door, I was sitting at the kitchen table, her car keys resting beside a half-empty glass of whiskey. Her eyes widened when she saw them. "Danny," she whispered. How did you?" I didn't answer. I just gestured toward the seat across from me. She hesitated, then sat down slowly, her breath shaky. "Where were you tonight?" asked, voice steady. "I told you," she said quickly. "Out with a friend." I leaned forward, locking eyes with her. "What's his name?" Her face went pale. What are you talking about?" "Room 103, I said quietly. Crescent Pines Motel. For a split second, everything in her expression crumbled. Her mouth opened but no sound came out. Then she tried to recover, tears welling in her eyes. "Danny, I can explain." "No," I said sharply, standing up. "Don't you dare insult me with explanations. I saw everything." She covered her face with her hands, sobbing quietly. "It wasn't what it looked like." "It was exactly what it looked like," I snapped. "You think I'm blind? You think I don't see how you've changed? You've been somewhere else for months. I just finally saw where." "I didn't mean for this to happen," she whispered. "You don't accidentally drive to a motel," I said. The breaking point. For a while, neither of us spoke. The only sound was the hum of the refrigerator and her quiet, uneven breathing. Finally, she looked up at me, her eyes red. "Danny, please. He made me feel something I haven't felt in years. You've been distant, cold, like you gave up on us long before I did." I stared at her, stunned. "So it's my fault you decided to crawl into another man's bed?" "No," she said weakly. "But I was lonely." "And I. Lonely." I interrupted. "Do you have any idea how lonely I've been? Watching you pull away, pretending nothing's wrong while you're sneaking around behind my back." She flinched, then broke again, whispering, "I made a mistake." I sighed, the anger dissolving into something heavier. Exhaustion. "No, Anna," I said quietly. "You made a choice." The reveal. She looked at the keys on the table again, her voice trembling. You moved my car, didn't you?" "I did." "Why?" "To give you a taste of what it feels like," I said. "To lose something you thought would always be there." She closed her eyes, tears spilling down her cheeks. "Danny, please don't do this. We can fix this. We can go to therapy, start over." But she stopped when I slid an envelope across the table. Inside were printed photos, the ones I'd taken from my dashcam footage when she entered and left the motel. "I already filed for divorce," I said quietly. "I sent the paperwork to your email. You can sign them in the morning." Her hand flew to her mouth as she looked at the photos. "Oh my God. Danny. I was going to surprise you next month," I continued, my voice soft, bitter. "Our anniversary. I had tickets to that cabin you loved in Vermont. Thought maybe we could reconnect." Her breath hitched. "Danny. But you already found somewhere else to spend your nights." The fallout. She broke down completely, sobbing into her hands. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." I stood, looking down at her. "I know," I said. "But sorry doesn't erase what I saw." I walked upstairs, ignoring her cries behind me. Packed a suitcase. My clothes. My laptop. The photo frame from our wedding day. Then I hesitated and left it face down on the dresser. When I came back downstairs, she was still at the table, shaking. "Where will you go?" she asked weakly. "Away," I said. "Somewhere I can remember who I was before all of this." Paused at the door. "Your car's parked outside. Filled the tank. You can drive wherever you want to." Her lips trembled. "You don't have to hate me." "I don't," I said, opening the door. "But I'll never trust you again." 3 weeks later. It's strange how quickly silence becomes a companion. I moved into a small apartment overlooking the river. The first week felt like hell, haunted by echoes of her laughter, the smell of her shampoo still clinging to my clothes. But then one morning I woke up and realized I hadn't thought about her for hours. Just peace. That same day I got a text from her. "I went by the old house today. Felt empty without you. I'm sorry, truly. I hope one day you can forgive me." I stared at it for a long time. Then I typed back slowly. "I already have. But forgiveness doesn't mean I'll come back." I never heard from her again. What she found at home. Months later, a mutual friend told me she'd sold the house and moved to another city. Apparently, when she came home that night, after finding her car gone, she discovered not just the photos and the envelope, but something else waiting for her. On the kitchen table beside the keys, I'd left a single note. Not angry, not cruel, just the truth. It said, "You broke something that can't be fixed. But I hope one day you realize it wasn't revenge that ended us. It was choice." And that's when I realized something powerful. Closure doesn't come from watching them suffer. It comes from knowing you finally walked away and didn't look back.